Hello there. This is Senior Musicians Unite. That's right. This is Senior Musicians Unite, Henry Clark's channel, right? Where I try to inspire seniors like myself, like you guys, to keep creating great music. And there are always tools that you can use. And one of the tools that I use is Band in a Box. Now, previously I said I wasn't going to use Band in a Box 2024, but I changed my mind. Like, I'm allowed to do that, right? And I have a copy of 2024. Well, there's a feature that I want to show you guys today that will keep you from having to go into a DAW, right? Because now you can do it even a bit more in the console that you could do before. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to be bothered with a DAW and the whole 9 yards, right? Which is cool. So what I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to change my screen and open up Band in a Box, and I'm going to show you how you can use bar settings, additional bar settings, to help create your composition and give it that dynamics that you're looking for in the Band in a Box console without ever having to go over to a DAW. So I'll be right back. Let me change screens, and I will be right back to show you guys how to do that, okay? 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. So I wanted to play something for you first. I want to start this off by playing something for you first, right? I was in this Quincy Jones mood, right? So I decided I wanted to try to do something just using real tracks and session musicians to kind of make a smooth jazz tune, right? So again, so this track I'm going to play really quickly. Maybe I'll play like maybe 8, 12 bars of it, something like that. And it goes like this. Which I just thought it was such a good groove, to be honest with you, right? I'm not a huge jazz fan, but I thought this was really just a cool song. I'm bringing in a solo piano. And I think it's important for you to just get just a little bit more of it. Now I brought in a saxophone, okay? So now how did I do that? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 tracks that I'm using to put this song together. And obviously you did not hear 15 tracks playing at the same time, right? So this is what it sounds like originally, right? Oh my gosh. This is a mess, right? Everybody's soloing at the same time, which of course, I'm sure you guys probably been in bands like that, But anyway, that's not what I want. I want it nice and clean like you heard it the first time, right? And bring instruments in and take instruments out without using a DAW. So how do I do that? I do that through bar settings. And bar settings is a great tool, and it's been improved in 2024 because in 2024, I'll put it like this. Previous to 2024, you could only use bar settings on the first 7 tracks. But now in 2024, you can use bar settings on utility tracks. Great feature, great feature. Again, so now you don't necessarily need to use the audio edit, and you don't need to drag them over to your DAW to do all of your cutting and pasting. Some of you may prefer that. But for those of you seniors who don't care to get into the whole DAW thing, right, this is a great tool you can use. So how do you do that, right? So we go to bar settings by going right-clicking, and I'm going to right-click on the first bar right up front. And bar settings is here. And I'm going to click on bar settings. And I get a dialog of bar settings. All of my tracks are here in the bar settings menu. And utility tracks are, this window here shows all of my utility tracks, right? I don't know, they did it in a drop-down version. I can't tell you why they did that, but that's what they decided to do, which is fine. So what am I going to do first, right? And I've got a little cheat sheet, right? Because it was just too hard to go through it without, for speed purposes anyway, right? So I'm going to take some parts out of what you heard in that original mess and mute those because I don't want them playing in the beginning of the song. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to mute the strings just by I'm clicking on the down arrow and I hit mute. I'm going to mute the vocal ahs, but I don't want them playing. I'm going to mute that acoustic piano, that soloist piano. I'm going to mute that. I'm going to mute the saxophone. We don't want the saxophone playing at this point. I'm going to mute the organ. We don't want the organ playing at this point. I'm going to mute I've got some percussion loops in here. We're not going to get into that because it'll make the video too long. But I've got some nice, cool percussion loops that I found in Band in a Box that I can use. But I'm going to go ahead and mute those out. I'm going to mute out the solo guitar. I've got a solo guitar part in here that's deeper in the song. I'm going to mute that out, and I'll leave the bass as is. I have two bass players, right? Bass 1 and bass 2. So now I have bass 1, bass 2, of course, in the utility tracks, a piano, drums, guitar 1, guitar 2. Those are the only instruments that I have now that will play. And if you listen to it now, remember you heard the first, it was a mess, right, a minute ago. So now when I hit play, I'll always generate, just get into the habit of generating in Band in the Box. There we are. No sax, no organ, no strings, no loops, no solos, none of that kind of stuff, right? But again, we don't want the whole song to be that way, right? So again, I set it up to bring these other portions in. So when will be a good time to bring in the acoustic piano, the soloist piano, right? I thought it would be good to bring it in at bar 9. Remember now, all of those instruments are muted throughout the rest of the song now because I just muted them, right? So now I can bring them in when I want them. So now when I go to bar 9 and I go to bar settings, I want the soloist piano to start playing at bar 9. So it's down here. And if you notice, what does it say in the description of this piano? It says it's an acoustic soloist pop piano, right? I wanted to back to normal, so I wanted to come back. I could actually change the volume. I'll just bring it back normal volume, right, at bar 9. So I'm going to bring it in at bar 9, and I'm going to take it out at bar 17. So I'm going to go back to bar 17. I'm going to go to my bar settings, and in bar 17, I'm going to re-mute it, is what I'm going to do. You don't necessarily have to hit apply either. Once you make the change, the apply automatically takes effect. So now when I do a generate and play, you're going to hear the piano come in at bar 17. I'm sorry, at bar 9, not bar 17, at bar 9. And again, this was kind of just a groove to get it set up, the first 8 bars, to get to set the song up. There's my piano. And when it gets to bar 17, it's going to be gone. Notice there's still no sax, there's no organ, there's no strings, there's no vocal ahs, none of that stuff. And now it's gone again. So again, what do I need to do now, right, is that I thought that in bar 17, it would be good to bring the saxophone in. So I go to bar settings by right-clicking on the bar itself, go to bar settings, my saxophone, hit the drop down, because remember my sax is on a utility track. So hit the saxophone, and I'm going to bring the saxophone back in at bar 17. And I'm going to let it run all the way to bar 33. So I'm going to go to bar 33. I'm going to go back to my bar settings, my saxophone. I'm going to mute my saxophone at bar 33. But I also thought what would be nice with the saxophone is to bring those vocal oohs and ahs, and I thought that was kind of cool, you know, right? So I'm going to actually bring those in also at bar 17. So I'm going to go back to my bar settings, right-click, bar settings. Here are my vocal ahs. Notice it says vocal. This window, I think it might be because of space, but notice the actual tracks, the names of the actual real tracks are here. So vocal ahs, bring them back in at bar 17. And I'm going to take those out at bar, I just said bar 25. I'll take them out at bar 25, just to give you more flexibility so you can hear the differences, right? I go to bar settings, and my vocal ahs, I'm going to mute them again at bar 17. I'm sorry, at bar 25. So now when I play the song, what you're going to hear is you're going to hear nothing in the beginning. You're going to hear the acoustic piano at bar 17, at bar 9, I'm sorry, bar 9. You're going to hear the saxophone at bar 17. I regenerate, again, it's just a habit, I regenerate, and this is what it sounds like. Like I said, I just think it's a cool groove, you know, but anyway, I was playing Quincy Jones, like I said, you know, because Quincy doesn't play anything, he just gets the best musicians ever, and then he puts it together. I thought this real track was incredible, to be honest with you. There are my ahs and my saxophone. And notice the piano is gone. And now I'm dropping the ahs out. So that's where we are. Actually, I didn't drop the ahs out. I thought I dropped the ahs out. Let me see if I dropped the ahs out at bar 25. I'm going to go to bar settings. And this is nice, of course, is that if it didn't go the way you thought it would go, you can always change it around, right? I didn't. I did an instrument no patch with nothing's there. I needed to drop it out at bar 25, so now I just dropped them out at bar 25, right? So now, and just for practical purposes, right, I'm going to do one more instrument just to show you guys how dynamic it is. I showed you guys acoustic piano. I showed you guys a saxophone. So now let's give the organ some. So I'm going to bring the organ in at bar 33. This is the last one we're going to do. So my bar settings, my organ is also on a utility track. So now when I go down to utility tracks and I look for my organ, there's my organ there, right? And again, I'm going to bring my organ in at bar 33. I'm not going to take it out again just to save time and as far as, putting this entire thing together, but just to show you. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing in and out 3 different soloist instruments while at the same time maintaining the root rhythms, which is really important in putting the song together, right? So now when I regenerate, and you're going to hear it like this. Again, this is the core rhythm, the core root rhythm, which is very important throughout the song. Here's my acoustic piano solo. I don't know who played it, but like I said, I love it. Here's my sax. I think I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Notice those ahs are gone this time. Remember, I didn't take them off before, and now they're gone. Now my organ comes in. So I think this is such a cool function. Like I said, I'm not going to play the whole song. You can actually listen to the song on my YouTube channel, right? It's called Everybody Gets Some, right? But anyway, just going to show you guys how I did that through bar settings without ever actually having to go into the DAW. I did this entire thing through bar settings. Now, I will take it and put it in my DAW usually because I want to sweeten some of the areas up a little bit, put some compression on it, right? Some extra compression, some more dynamics that I like better in my DAW than I do in the Band in a Box console. However, you don't want to do that. You don't have to do that. You can do this entire song just like I did it in Band in a Box 2024. And the reason why I say 2024 is because when I go to bar settings and I right click, and I open up my bar settings window, utility tracks, it only did it for utility tracks in 2024 and not the previous versions. Now there again, you can go to the audio edit window here and do that, right? But that's another function, and I actually have a tutorial out there on doing audio edit. So again, that's what I wanted to show you guys, right? I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope if you have questions, of course, you can always hit me up. Another thing you can actually do on a bar set is you can actually change the sound of the instrument. You can turn a piano, you can turn an electric piano into an acoustic piano without ever leaving the console. Just neat things that you can do in there. I just want to show you how you can do bar settings from arranging a song perspective, because I thought that's really, really important. And like I said, that way you don't have to go into a DAW. Hope this helps, and I hope you guys can appreciate what we do. Again, this is Henry Clark. My channel is Senior Musicians Unite. I do some tutorials, but I try to provide inspiration, not tips, inspiration, to try to keep you guys engaged in creating the great music that you love to do, and also, just give you guys the opportunity to look at how you're doing your music, and maybe you can do it a bit better, or maybe I'll bring you some ideas for inspiration that you hadn't thought of before. So again, I appreciate you guys watching my channel, and I will see you guys later, okay? Bye.